Yo, what's up? It is December, it's near the end of the year, I'm feeling pretty festive, and that means it is time to do a sort of footwear roundup type thing. Not quite a top 10 shoe releases of the year, but that sort of thing. I'm just going to pull out some things that came out over the year that I thought were notable for some reason, or that I thought were particularly cool, or maybe things that were a bit underrated, that kind of thing. Not sure how many there's going to be yet. There might be 10, there'll probably be about 10. 9 or 10, maybe even 11. We'll see how things go. So, yeah, let's go into it. I'm going to kind of list off a couple of my favourite things that came out over the last year, and hopefully I'll be able to justify every single one. First up is the Nike Flyknit Racer Multi 3.0. So, as you might have guessed by the name, this is the third release of multicolored Flyknit racers. I really like this colour. They are a little bit kind of pink and blue kind of mix, which I think is quite cool. Some of them are more pink than others. Every pair is pretty much unique. I have a pair, and even the left and right shoes, totally different pattern. So they make for a really unique kind of shoe. Are they as cool as the version 1s and the version 2s? I don't know. I kind of like the grey tongue, to be honest. It makes them look a little bit more kind of subtle. A lot of people, I think, feel like they have to take sides between the Flyknit Racer and the Adidas Ultra Boost, but you know, in my opinion, there's no reason why you can't like both, and I do think, especially with the multicolored ones, that the Racers are much nicer than the Ultra Boosts. Even though the Ultra Boosts are probably more comfortable, you know, the Racers have a little bit of a narrower fit, and they've got quite a strong runner aesthetic, quite a strong kind of racery, runnery type vibe. Whereas Ultra Boosts are a lot more flexible. They're a bit more comfortable as well. But you know, color-wise, I thought that these were really cool. Definitely worth picking up. Quite a unique looking shoe, very eye-catching. Yeah, what's not to like, basically. I'm putting these two together because they are pretty similar releases. Not quite the same, obviously different colors. But yeah, not dissimilar. So these are the French Beige and the Japan Grey Prime Knit NMDs. They both have a very similar vibe, as you can see. Yeah, construction totally identical. Japan Grey obviously has kanji written on it. The French Beige has French text on it as well. So yeah, very similar kind of style. I thought that both of them were really, really awesome. Really love the colours. Quite kind of understated. Very cool, but still have that NMD look. The Prime Knit ones I do think are so much better than the mesh version. I mean, the mesh are still cool. I think for your average sneakerhead, your average sneaker fan, yeah, NMDs, go for them. I think they're pretty great. But yeah, the Prime Knit version does just have that edge. I really like the kind of fitting around the ankle type thing you don't really get with your average shoe. So yeah, really like the shape of the Prime Knit NMDs. Yeah, I really like the colours as well, especially the beige actually. There's not that many cool shoes that come out in that kind of beigey sort of colour. Closest other thing I can think is like the Flax Air Force Ones, which are a very, very different shoe. Yeah, what more can I say? Really like them. This one is a little bit of a weird one. You might not even have seen or heard of these before. This is the Y3 Caser Sandal. So pretty sure this came out this year. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one. But yeah, this year certainly was the first time that I saw it. I think there's just not that many like cool options for sliders or sandals. So people often feel a little bit stuck with kind of non-trainer footwear to wear in the summer. So I think these kind of fill that gap quite nicely. They're very heavily based, as you can tell, on the Y3 Caser. Very, very similar to that. But yeah, they've got some bits missing, basically. So you've still got that kind of, that pretty cool ninja kind of look, but also a lot more airy, a lot lighter on your feet. Yeah, they're a very unique shoe. They're not too over the top just because they're kind of pure blacks. They're not really like, you know, look at me standing out too much. You have to get them quite small. I bought these in a 10. And I'm normally an 11, so yeah, whole size down. And the straps kind of hug your feet quite nicely. I mean, I wouldn't go around sprinting in them, obviously, because it's just like elastic, so it does kind of stretch a little bit. But yeah, they're pretty comfy, and I think they look really nice. I think it's quite hard in the summer to do that kind of tech wear look type thing without boiling in your acronym jacket. So this is kind of a nice way of doing that. Like you can wear it with some of those like tech fleece Nike shorts type thing. And then, you know, you're still kind of getting the look, but it's still quite summery and quite cool as well. So yeah, a unique release. I like them a lot. I think they're cool. On a similar vibe, the acronym Prestos. I thought these were a super cool release. I do like acronym stuff a lot. I like that kind of techwear look. Yeah, for a long time I've kind of looked at Prestos and been a bit like, are these a little bit too outlandish for me? You know, they have a very unusual shape. They are kind of weird looking. But the acronym ones I think really embrace that, and they do give it a very strong aesthetic. Does kind of fit in very nicely with that acronym techwear kind of thing. Okay, so maybe they're not the easiest things to wear. You know, you can't just put these on with anything. You've got to put a bit of thought into it, I feel, if you want to rock a pair of these. But they do stand out, and I really like the choices of colours as well. I can't remember what they're all called. One of them is called Bamboo. So I thought the colour choices were really cool. There's that quite, like, all kind of quite understated black and olivey type thing. Apart from that one pair, which are like neon yellow, kind of pinky red type thing. And I think they're super underrated. I think they're really cool. Obviously, very difficult to wear. You can't just throw those on anything. And I like what they did with the Presto. They've very obviously kept that same silhouette, but they've made enough changes so that it's very obviously different. I think a lot of shoe collabs, they just kind of take exactly the same shape and maybe do a little bit of a different color, maybe stick their logo on the front or something. But it's quite clear that Acronym actually put a lot of work into this. They've created something which is very much theirs while still kind of fitting in with the Nike Presto type thing. So yeah, I think they did a really good job. For me, this is like exactly what a collab should be. Yeah, they made a lot of changes, but they kept that same kind of look. So yeah. Another awesome collab, the Dave White Air Max 95s. These were, I would say, maybe moderately hyped, but it kind of felt like as soon as they came out, like just after they came out, the hype just totally disappeared. Barely seen anyone wear these since they came out. But I think they're really, really cool. Again, this is exactly the kind of collab that I hope to see. I think Dave White has really gone all out with making this his own shoe. The little pink air bubble is super cute. And yeah, it's quite clear that he's just gone all out with these. He's made something that Nike alone would never make by themselves because it's kind of too far out there. But being a collab, he's got a lot more kind of creative freedom, a lot more creative space to do what he wants. And I think he's done a good job of that. I feel like this is more like a proper enthusiast shoe, you know? Like, you're only going to know and care about these if you are kind of properly into footwear or sneaker culture. In fact, you might even think that they're a bit ugly, and I can kind of see that because they are, yeah, in terms of the colours and stuff, they are a little bit like, whoa, you don't find those at JD Sports. So yeah, I can see why a lot of people wouldn't like them, but I think for an enthusiast, these are a very cool shoe. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of the release of the first Alien film, Reebok re-released, well no, not re-released, they released the Alien Stompers, which are the shoe that Ellen Ripley wears in the films. So these are kind of the equivalent of the Nike Mag, that kind of thing, in the super outlandish shoe. You would probably never ever wear these. You certainly would never wear the high ones because they just look totally crazy. But they are a very iconic shoe because of their feature in that film. They kind of represent that retro future kind of thing, like the 70s and 80s vision of what future footwear would be like, which the mag kind of falls into as well. So I think they're really, really cool for that reason. They have that cult status because of the Alien film. These sold out basically immediately, and now they're impossible to find. The mid version as well, I think, is super cool. These are actually a lot more wearable, and they still have that kind of retro future kind of vibe. It's a very interesting shoe because it appeals to two different people. You've got those people that are really into their Reeboks, really into kind of footwear collecting, that kind of thing. And then you've got the kind of old school sci-fi geeks that are really, really into Alien, love the old films, love kind of retro sci-fi kind of classic stuff, and then want to pick up a pair for themselves. So yeah, it's an interesting release for me because it kind of expands the normal footwear buyer into kind of another group in a similar way to how the mags do a little bit. Like the mags definitely have an appeal to a massive audience because kind of everyone remembers Back to the Future, everyone knows it was really cool, and the mags are so kind of iconic in that film and everyone remembers them. So they have a kind of like pop culture status more so than any other shoe does. So I think that makes these a really interesting release. Wish I could have a pair for myself, but sadly probably never ever find them ever. So I mentioned the Nike mag just now. I'm not going to talk about the Nike mag though. I'm going to talk about the Nike Hyper Adapt, which in some ways is kind of related to the mag in that this is more like an actual consumer version of self-lacing footwear. So maybe they don't look the craziest or the coolest or whatever, but I think that technology alone is enough to make them one of the biggest releases of this year for sure. I mean, if you purely go for like the amount of hype that this generated, the amount of coverage this got, I mean, like mainstream outlets were covering the release of this shoe because it is such a cool new concept that apart from the mag hasn't really been done before. So I think it's very much appealing to a new market. Again, it's kind of expanding what it means to be like into footwear or like a sneakerhead or whatever. Because everyone kind of gets it. Everyone thinks like, oh wow, wouldn't it be awesome if my shoes laced themselves? You don't have to be into, footwear or trainer culture or whatever to get that. So I think, yeah, like massive potential market. I think it's a really exciting technology. Okay, most people probably aren't going to buy them because they're $720. They're a massive amount of money. It's going to make you scared to wear them outside. And we don't really know how good that self-lacing technology is yet. This is kind of like a beta test almost. I mean, yeah, the mag has already come out, but that was very much a limited kind of thing. This is the first sort of consumer self-lacing shoe. So is it going to be that good in terms of how the technology works? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I think that ability to appeal to more than just core sneakerheads. I mean, you're going to get people that will want to buy these shoes that have no interest in footwear at all. Just kind of general people with a bit of money to spend. Basically, are like, oh wow, got to get in on this new technology and all that sort of thing. As a tech enthusiast myself, that's something that I find really exciting. So yeah, very interesting release for me. Will there be more in 2017? Hopefully. Will there be like a whole range of hyper adapt style shoes, a whole load of different silhouettes of self-lacing footwear? Maybe we'll see a self-lacing runner, a self-lacing Presto, self-lacing sock dart or something. I don't know, something like that could work. Yeah, paving the way for some really cool stuff. The Nike Special Field Boot, I think, is a very interesting one. This kind of just seemed to release out of the blue. Like some pictures just showed up of it and no one really knew that it was coming. And it was something like, oh, whoa, these are fucking awesome. I mean, look at them. They're so crazy. They're super heavy duty. I mean, I bought a pair of winterized Nike Dunks last year and that makes them look like baby shoes. Like, these things are properly sturdy. They come with a bag as well. Don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, you get a kind of matching bag when you buy them. And they're not even to carry the footwear in, like, they're too big for that. It's like a proper kind of shopper-style bag with, like, this strap that goes over it and stuff. So yeah, they're really cool. I think it shows Nike's investment in this shoe that they're willing to do something like that. They're kind of saying like, this is quite a special release, we're quite proud of this is something cool that we've done, we hope you guys like it as well. It was a little bit of a divisive shoe, I think, when it came out. I can see why people hate it because it is very, very out there in terms of style. It is very over the top, it's very brash. Of course, this is not the first winterized boot that's out there. Nike have done them before, as I say, with the winterized Dunks. Adidas have kind of winterized Stans, winterized Superstars. There's all kinds of things like that. But I think Nike have really taken it to the next level with this. They've created something that, truly is a boot first and a trainer second, as opposed to the other way around. Something that is going to be legitimately a heavy duty shoe. And I think it's really cool to see that. I think we're at a time where people are kind of branching out a little bit more in terms of style to things that are a little bit more rugged. People are wearing cargos again, a little bit more kind of wider trousers and that kind of thing, as opposed to just sticking to runners, like racer style shoes, and very slim jeans, that kind of thing. So I think this is the right time to release these. I think they are very, very interesting. and I hope that they release some more actually, because I didn't pick any up. I did try. I wanted the black and the olive ones. Didn't buy either. So hopefully they will have some more coming out. If not this year, then next year in some new colours and stuff, because I think there's a lot of potential with these. The all black Nike Lunar Charge, and to a lesser extent the other colours of Lunar Charge. So this was a kind of little bonus one that I put here at the end, because I actually bought a pair of these, and when they showed up, I kind of didn't like them as much as I did in some of the pictures that I saw of them. So although I don't actually like them that much, I think they show something quite interesting. You know, Nike hasn't really approached exactly this kind of look before. They kind of do to an extent with something like the Presto, maybe even the Sock Dart. But until this point, this has very much been Adidas territory with that neoprene upper. This is very obviously inspired by shoes like the Y3 Retro Boost. Very, very similar kind of look. Bringing this to a more kind of mass market thing. Obviously the Y3s I think retailed at $240. These are $90. So very much an every consumer type shoe. So this is kind of the first time that something like this with that proper tech wear kind of look has been available to your average person. So even though I don't like them that much, I do think that it's a very interesting shoe, and I think in terms of the silhouette, there can be a lot that can be done with it in kind of future releases. Maybe it shows Nike's willingness to experiment a little bit more with materials, kind of bring out a little bit more neoprene type stuff and encroach on that Y3 segment a little bit more. Because I think that would be very interesting, you know, at the moment, if you want that kind of shoe, you have to go to Adidas, you have to go to Y3. But now if Nike give you the option, Nike give you an alternative, then I think that's, you know, that's no bad thing, having two different choices. And it can kind of push the other brand to maybe kind of push things a little bit forward. I mean, they kind of already do that with things like the tubular radial, tubular viral. In fact, pretty much any tubular silhouette is kind of like a low price Y3 type thing. But they might even push it kind of even further since the release of these. So yeah, I think while I don't like these that much, I think they represent something that's very interesting. And yeah, for that reason, something that means for me that they're quite an important release of this year, potentially. So that's pretty much it for me in terms of some of my favourite releases of the year. Do let me know if you think that I missed any out. Obviously, there were absolutely hundreds of things that came out this year, so I've probably forgotten some that I think probably do deserve to be on here. So yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments if you do agree or if you disagree with any of my choices. You know, I appreciate that some of them are maybe a little bit controversial, or you might think that they're not worthy of being up here. Personally, you know, I think that all of these are pretty cool shoes, but you're allowed to disagree. Feel free to voice your opinion. I am interested to hear if you guys feel any differently. So thanks so much for watching. Yeah, very glad if you made it this far. Glad you find me at least slightly interesting. And that is pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.